Welcome to Friday Night Lives. I'm L. Michael Burt. How's everyone doing tonight? Live, Friday Night Live with TTJ. And I just really want to get right into it. Just going to fix a couple of things here. I just want to get right into it. So this is Friday Night Live. We're back. Had a couple week hiatus. And again, I'm L. Michael Burt. And for the next 5 weeks, we're running what we're calling Breaking the Illusion, Creating Your Purpose After Disruption. And this is for anybody who's been through something, right? Life shifted, and you refuse to let the past keep naming you, keep coloring your future, and all the things that keep you blind from the purpose that you're creating for your life in this space and in this time. So just let me ask you something really simple. Are you living your life, or are you living the meaning that you gave your life? Because a lot of people are not living what happened, they're living what they told themselves it meant. So let me be clear with all of that. I'm not here to tell you that nothing happened. I'm here to tell you what happened does not get to name you. Also, if you want to go deeper into clearing your past and clearing your future, I know of a transformational organization that really goes deep into that, that can really get you clear in your life in over a weekend, 3 days in the evening. They call it. And if you're interested in that, send me an email at team@thethrivejourney.com, and we can connect you with the organization. But what I'm here to do, I'm here to specialize, what I specialize in rather, is to get you aligned with your purpose. And that's what we're going to start with doing tonight. So tonight, we're going to start by separating the reality from your interpretation of reality. Facts from story. We already started this. We're doing 30 days of clips. So if you've seen the clips, or if you're here, you've probably seen the clips. And we're just really going to talk about fact from story. Okay? And let's see here. All right, good deal. Good deal. All right. And again, we're going to talk about fact from story. And then from there, we choose a stance on purpose. And listen, tonight is not a lecture. This is truly a practice, the things I've been talking about in the clips. So here's how what we are talking about tonight, the fact from the story, shows up in real life. So let's just start with something small. So something small happens, right? A text, silence shows up, because silence does speak, okay? A bill, a memory. And all of a sudden, you're in this moment and your body changes, your mood changes, thoughts start to, ramble around in your mind. But it's not because of that moment, right? Because that moment is not really that big. But it's because that moment, whatever it was happened, touched an old meaning. And then you start looking at life through that meaning. And that's the loop that we continue to live in. You repeat a meaning long enough, and it feels, or it starts to feel like reality. Now, I'm going to make this so clear that a 4-year-old can follow, okay? And when I was going through my notes and everything, and looking at how can I make this very simple, because we're doing this through 4 weeks and 30 clips. How can I make this really simple? How would I understand it if I was like, who is this guy? What is he talking about? Okay, fact versus story, right? So a fact is what I liken it to is what a camera can capture. So if I had a camera, which I do, but one of those cameras, the camera can only record what it sees and hears, right? That's it. So facts sound like this. He said this, she said that, the job ended, the text said this, the door closed, they moved out, right? Those are facts. Stay with me here, okay? Now, a story is the meaning that you add. It's the sentence you say to yourself, if what you made it mean, or it's what you made it mean about you. Okay? So if you brought an attachment to the moment, that's what that interpretation is. So remember it like this: facts are what happened, the story is what you said it meant. Now, watch how people lose reality. Okay? I'm going to show you how. And listen, as I'm sharing this, I've done years of self-development, and I've lived this life of what I'm talking about for many times. I've been up and down, in and out with all of this, right? So this is how I've lost reality at points, and how people lose reality. So here's an example. Someone gets laid off. Just keep it really simple. All right. Here's the facts, like a camera. The camera shows you got an email. All right. You got a meeting. They said, we're going to let you go. Your access gets cut off. Your paycheck stops. Now, that's the reality. Those are the facts. Now, here's what happens next. In your mind, in all of your being, something shows up from some old identity, some old past situations show up, and that starts to talk to you. And then in your mind, you start to say, this means that I'm not valuable. This means that I'm not good enough. That was my story for a long time. And it still is my story. I just know how to recognize it now. Or this means I'm a failure. So once you listen to this. Here's the fact: the job ended, and that's the fact, right? I'm not valuable, or I'm not good enough. That's the meaning that you added. And if you don't separate those two, you're no longer looking at reality. You're looking at your meaning, and you're treating your meaning like fact. Okay. So let me give you another example. Somebody leaves, right? Somebody leaves. Here's the fact. Here's the fact, like a camera, not your chosen fact. This is what the camera can show, right? So somebody leaves, right? A message came in, or no message came in at all. The phone got quiet. They stopped showing up, or they moved out, and they said, I'm done with you, right? That's reality. Those are the facts. Now, here's what happens next. And I assert that most people live this way and go through this day in and day out, with not just these examples, or whatever else. So somebody left. Those are the facts that we talked about. And what you made that probably mean, you say that I'm not chosen, or this means that I'm not lovable, or this means people always leave me. So somebody leaving is the event. That's the fact. I'm not chosen is the meaning that you added, right? And if you don't separate those, the story from the fact, you stop living with reality. You start living with your story like it's the truth. Facts matter, and we honor facts, right? But when you confuse facts and story, your story becomes your lens. And when your story becomes your lens, you don't see life. You see your interpretation of life. And this is where identity comes in. Identity isn't the list of what happened, the facts, right? Identity is the lens you live from. It's the meaning you automatically assign to what happens. We separate the event from the meaning so you can really see clearly. And when you can see clearly, you can choose your stance. All right. And when you choose your stance, you can take action that builds a new future. All right. So there's much more work that goes into this, and this is just the abridged version of getting that clear. So tonight we're going to do two things, which is separate the fact from the story, and choose a stance on purpose. So I'm gonna say it again: facts are what happened. Identity is the color of the glasses you're wearing when you look at what happened. If you don't know you're wearing glasses, you think the color is real. Okay. Again, these are like these are my glasses to see, but what I'm saying is like the saying, the rose colored glasses, you live life, or you're looking at life through some rose color glasses. That's what I'm talking about. That's the interpretation. Okay. So let's just kind of let's just make this real. And I want you to grab a paper or a notes app, something, so we can start practicing this in real time here. Okay. So look at my notes. On one line each, yeah, if you on one line each, if you write a paragraph, you're going to disappear into the story. So we're not going to write story. Okay, we're not going to do that. We're going to write the fact like a camera. Okay, and so I'm going to give you these prompts real quick, and I want you to do it like I'm going to instruct you to do it. Okay, so I want you to write the facts like a camera, and here we go. So the fact is, put a line through, or say it like this rather. The fact is blank. Like the fact is my mom left, or my dad left, or my boyfriend left, or my girlfriend left. Something like that. Okay. Only what happened. No opinions. No meaning to the thing that happened. Just write it as it is. Just the fact. Okay. You'll get a chance to write your interpretation of that in a minute. Okay. All right. So you wrote that down. And now we're going to write the meaning that you added to what happened. So the story I added is, okay, just tell the truth about the story that you added. And look at the cost as well. The cost of the story that you added to the event that happened. Okay? So the story I added is whatever the story is. And then I want you to look at the cost. Now, I'm moving faster than what I would regularly do if I'm coaching you, but just if you have to rewind, pause, whatever, if you watch the recording, do that. Okay. So the story I added is blank, whatever it is, and then the prompt for the cost, and what it is the story cost me whatever it is. Okay. Give you an example that it may cost you peace. It might cost you confidence. Hell, it might cost you money, right? It might cost you relationship with your friends, your loved ones, whomever you had very close relationship with, or it might cost you action, right? Now, from there, what we're going to do is choose the shift, okay? And now that you see the story and the interpretation of the story, what it cost you to live in the interpretation, you then now get to choose a stance. You choose a stance on who you creating yourself to be. Now, there's much more work that goes into this, but this is just the beginner level, okay? And then you write that stance. I want you to keep it simple. I want you to keep it strong, okay? Don't I can't use the word I want to use, so just keep it strong, okay? Um, Here I have examples here. So my stance is I'm a person who, all right? I'm a person who keeps promises to myself. Some people will promise the world to everybody else, and then they'll take care of everybody else, but then they forget to take care of them. You take care of yourself. And so make it a strong stance. I'm a person who keeps promises to myself. Your word as your bond, right? Or I'm a person who tells the truth and moves in that way. Or I'm a person who rebuilds. Okay? These are stances you can take on after you do the work of seeing the story, seeing the facts, seeing the story, seeing what it cost, right? And now look at what you wrote. And I want you to now look at the action that you're going to take in the next 24 hours that matches your stance. Right now, this doesn't have to be huge. Doesn't have to be big, but you need to start to give yourself the proof of who you're becoming. All right, so that your body can start to realize the separation. All right. So in the next 24 hours, I want you to create this action. And the prompt for you, so that you can see it, in the next 24 hours, I will do whatever it is. Okay. And then you want to make sure it's something that you can actually finish. Okay. Now, I know that we went through this very quickly. So make sure you go to the clips, because it leads into the Friday Night Lives. Then we practice this on Friday Night Live. And we're going to be doing this for the next, it's going to be literally 5 weeks, but 30 days of clips. Because on the fifth week, we're going to come back and then we're going to just see how we can continue to live that in the real world. Okay. All right. So, like I said, this again is just the abridged version of, getting to the core of who you're meant to be, breaking the illusions that you're living in, so that you can then create who you are in the world and begin to live your purpose. And if you want to, really kind of continue to work on those things, and you want to stay with this, I want you to grab the first chapter of the Empowered Path. Okay, this is how you keep building from clarity instead of old meeting, and you can do that work with that book. And I'm going to show the this is the link here. All right, and you just go there and get the book, first chapter, for free. Okay, you got it. All right. Now, here's another option for you, or opportunity, if you want to stay with us. Follow the Thrival journey right here. Turn your notifications on. There's a website that you can go to. There you go. That's huge. That is huge. Let's change that real quick here. It'll change in a minute. There we go. So go to that link, hang out with us, the Thrival journey, to that website there, and look. Turn your notifications on so you don't just miss a Friday Night Live. We're doing the real work, okay? And we're going to have a week 2, and you want to make sure that you join us in week 2 as well. This is where we get real, and this is where we show things up in your body. So next week is healing is not a straight line, right? We're going to learn how to how to lead yourself when the feelings show up, so the past stops painting your future. Okay. I want to let you know that I love and appreciate you for being here. Share this with somebody who needs it. We are building this together. And I know this is a very abridged version, but this is the beginning. Okay. Stick with us these 5 weeks so that we can create something new, or create newly, for the life that you're creating for yourself and your family. All right. We'll see you next week. Stay tuned to TTJ, and be well.